Hello and welcome to another episode of Binding Roll, where we play second edition Pathfinder in the world of the Ninth Age. If you are unfamiliar with the Ninth Age, it is a rank and flank tabletop war game that I play all the time. This YouTube channel is dedicated to. I love it very much. If what goes on here sounds any sort of relatively interesting and you're interested in a tabletop war game, please click the link in the description below. It'll take you to the official website. It is a community-built game, so all the rules are free. All you gotta do is supply the models, and that's it. It's really fun. It's awesome. But today we are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition in the world of the Ninth Age. The usual stuff, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe. Also, jump on our Discord. Jump on Instagram. Jump on TikTok. It's all there in the description. You know the deal. But if you are interested in supporting us, we just need some subscribers. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and if you do that, you will give a hero point to our players. A hero point lets them reroll any roll or stabilize themselves if they're going to die. So it's a pretty helpful tool in the game. But I think that's about it. Let's get into the game. I hope you enjoy. Well, it's been a little while, guys. It's been, I think, over a month, maybe 5-6 weeks. I don't know. It's been a while since we've played. My apologies. It's my traveling and my crazy new work schedule that I'm trying to get around with. Quick shout out to the chat. Warrior Womp is here, as always. We love you, Warrior Womp. Keep doing the things you do. But we are a little light on players. We're just going to do a session with just 2 players and me. How about that? Let's have fun.
Let's go.
Yeah. But the exciting part of this episode is everyone got to level up. I think we're at level 4 now, if I'm correct. 4.
Yes.
So, as always, please tell me what you're drinking and then go through what you got with your level up to level 4. Let's start with Carlin.
Sure. Yeah. So I have one of my go-to beers. Got the Uinta 801 Pilsner.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, delicious, tried and true. And then for the level up, I got a class feat and a skill feat.
Oh, you got 2 feats this level. That's good.
Yeah. So for the class feat, I took the feat Directed Channel. Cleric level 4 feat. You can shape the energy you channel in a single direction, reaching farther and in a more directed fashion. When you cast the 3-action version of Heal, that is normally a 30-foot emanation, you can change it to a 60-foot cone.
Oh, interesting.
So I can direct that 3-action heal.
Kind of like Hayukin the heal.
Yeah, because normally if we're fighting something that is alive, not undead, then it would affect enemies as well as affecting members of the party. This way, hopefully I can make more use of that 3-action heal, although there's only 2 of us here tonight, so maybe it won't matter that much tonight. And then skill feat, I couldn't find any of the 4th level feats that I actually met any of the prerequisites for. So
Okay.
instead, I went back and took the level 1 feat, Titan Wrestler, which stipulates you can attempt to disarm, grapple, shove, or trip creatures up to 2 sizes larger than you.
Oh wow, 2 sizes. You could like grapple
then-
like a whole freaking like elephant.
Yes, basically. And then I just realized that I got another 2nd level spell, so I'm gonna figure that part out right now.
Okay, no worries. Octavia, what you drinking and what'd you get?
I'm again going with the classic G&T.
Nothing wrong with that.
So this is using a gin that Belgux bought me.
Oh, nice.
So,
Shout out to
yeah.
Belgux. We miss you.
quite good. It is really, really good. Like,
What's the brand? What's the brand?
it's Hendrix. It's one of
Oh.
their like they have these like limited edition ones. Hold on. Yeah, so it's Hendrix Flora Adora.
Oh,
I can get that actually.
perfect. Yeah, we see it perfectly.
Yeah. So it's really I really liked their limited edition ones.
Mhm.
But this one is really good. So yeah, it's good stuff.
My camera's deciding to act up, but continue. Sorry.
And then for level up, I decided to take a leaf out of Sunset's book and multi-class into
Oh.
Sorcerer.
Oh, okay. Things are changing up.
Yeah, so I took the Sorcerer Dedication class feat, which lets me choose a bloodline. I chose Draconic Red to match
Mm-hmm.
what Sunset was. And with that, I got the ability to cast spells, and so I have the shield, and this is one of the key reasons why I decided to do this. There is a cantrip called Telekinetic Projectile, which
Okay.
will let me bypass the limitation on my thrown weapons. And actually, it will let me throw them farther.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, shield you've seen before. Belgux has used that a number of times, but telekinetic projectile is you hurl a loose, unattended object that is within range and that has 1 bulk or less at the target. Make a spell attack roll against the target. If you hit, you deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage as appropriate for the object you hurled, equal to 1d6 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. And its range is 30 feet. So normally my throwing knives would have a 20-foot range, but the limitation because of, me being a Pegasus, it was reduced to 10. But using this, I can throw them 30 feet. And normally the throwing knives would only be 1d4 damage. These are 1d6 damage.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. And then for skill feat, I took Arcane Sense, which lets me cast Detect Magic as a cantrip. So I have that as well. And then
It
I
just keeps
have
going.
to remember what of these I actually took. So with each level up, I get to train an additional skill. Additionally, with the Sorcerer's Dedication, I got to be trained in Arcana and your Bloodline's 2 skills. It was Arcana and something else, but I was already trained in those skills. So what I wound up taking was Society, Performance, and think medicine.
Oh, medicine.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, so the only stuff that I'm not trained in yet is crafting and occultism. I am at least trained in everything else.
Okay. Interesting. You went a completely different way than I was expecting. That's really interesting. I didn't mention what I was drinking. I'm drinking a new beer this evening from Root and Branch Brewery. This is in New York. I really, really, really enjoy their beers. This one's called Abysmal Thoughts, and it has like weird quotes on the side of everyone. And this one says, "Oh, abysmal thoughts, pushing me down to the ground. Oh, beautiful thoughts, where have you gone now? The drums, Abysmal Thoughts, 2017." A little poetry for you guys out there. A little bit of class. Class up this joint. Let's see if I can get a nice crack on here.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh shit! I opened my beer before we started, so
Oh no,
I fucked up.
I've done it.
That
Sounds like you're gonna have to get another one.
All right.
I mean, I obviously only open it when you're ready to drink it, but
Yeah, we'll get a midpoint. Well, not midpoint. It'll probably be in like 20 minutes, but somewhere in the middle of the episode, we'll get to open one up.
yeah,
So-
we'll see if I open one up as well.
Quick recap. You guys made it to Zalaman Takesh, the capital of the Infernal Dwarves, or the Dwarves of the East, on the train. But you guys kind of did it in a rogue fashion, in a commandeered train. That you made it to. You fought out some possessed dwarves in the jails. Then you made it in. You made it into the Overlord Ziggurat. And there, the Rod of Zalaman was revealed to be a rod that Octavia had stolen previously, and that opened the gateway in the gates of Zalaman, which are these ancient gates that are in the history of the Infernal Dwarves. And these gates crumbled, revealing a teleportation circle, much like the one we saw in our last season of Binding Roll. And it was activated.
Quick question on that rod. I no longer have that, correct? That was okay. So let me remove that from my inventory.
That is correct. And through that portal came Itzy. Not Itzy. What was his name?
Urki.
Urki. Jeez. Woo. Urki, who was part of like her name, and she was standing on sitting on top of her orc companion in an exoskeleton that was shaped basically like a spider, and all these mechanical spiders flooded out of the portal and exited through the roof, climbing up the wall. And with that, the last thing that happened was Belgux basically turned Octavia into the guards, like completing his contract. And a collar was slapped on Octavia's neck, and then she peaced out. She ran away, and that was kind of the last thing we saw and heard. So I guess we'll pick it up from right there. Octavia, you dash off. Actually, let me bring up the map here just to give an example where we are. We are in the center Overlord Ziggurat, the one right in the center here. And you dash down an alleyway in the madness that is outside of the Overlord Ziggurat. Many people running around. The guards lose you in the crowd, and you duck down a random alley.
I think I had actually made it back to the train
Mm.
at the end of our previous session.
Let's say you don't, and we'll get to you. But
Okay. All right.
But
Fair enough.
I'd love to start with Carlin. Carlin, you're standing there with Belgux. And that's it. You and Belgux.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to say?
where are we standing?
You're kind of in the middle of this this courtyard in the center of town here. Oh, right there. And it's just kind of mass hysteria right now. People are going crazy. They've never seen steampunk mechanical exoskeleton spider things before, so they're a little hectic. Guards are running around. Citizens are trying to flee the courtyard. You do notice, because you remember inside the ziggurat, you saw the 4 leaders of the city for each of the 4 gods. Asharuk, the leader of the Asharuk, which is the kind of the ruling class, kind of, he was the one who pretended he had the Rod of Zalaman, and he felt, when it was revealed that he didn't, the other leaders were kind of upset with him, and you see the other 3 leaders kind of very casually leaving the ziggurat and with their bodyguards, and all of them dispersing and going to their separate parts of the city.
Okay. And not that I think it has much bearing on what I'm going to do, but I haven't seen the Overlord or the former Overlord leaving yet. Okay.
No. And with that, I can't do a very good Belgux. So essentially, Belgux is like, well, that didn't work out with the whole contract thing. I'm pissed. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to the bar. And Belgux turns on his heels and stomps his way back to the bar in the Asharuk's estates.
All right, well, I was going to suggest going back to the train, but I suppose Which bar? I call to him as he leaves.
He yells over his shoulder, what I forgot the name of the bar we named it. I didn't write it down. It was the bar in the Asharuk Estates, the nice bar you went to first.
Yeah, I was mostly testing you to see if you remembered the name.
I don't.
Oh,
Do you?
Okay, that one. No, I don't.
That bar.
Gotcha.
Don't follow me, you dumb human. And he walks away.
All right, well, I don't see any reason why we needed to make this racial, but fair. Do what you will. And I'm going to try and find Octavia.
Okay, so you want to go searching for Octavia?
Yeah. I don't know how well I'm going to do, because that's not really my thing, but yes, definitely.
Let's see here. Let me just pull up player characters. Here we go. Carlin.
She's a well, no, not a unicorn. A Pegasus. Does she
Peg.
leave like a
Pegasus
trail of glitter?
droppings? Pegasus. No. I mean, that's a good question,
That would
Octavia.
make you much less
are
stealthy.
You are a Pegasus. Are you a potty trained Pegasus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you in fact shitting yourself in this situation?
No.
Okay, just
That would be uncouth.
That would be uncouth. That would be very uncouth.
very proper pony Pegasus. Alliteration
Um,
aside, what do you want me to roll to try and figure this out?
Give me either a nature or survival or thievery check. One of the or stealth. One of the three. One of the four.
Okay. Just for clarity, did I see her flying off somewhere, or am I just trying to find an entirely cold trail here?
First, give me a perception check right off the bat, just to see if you
Okay.
notice that. No, you don't see where she went.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's a 17. It's
Oh,
pretty
it's true.
good.
I do have a
17.
pretty good perception
But-
bonus.
I do have a +12 to my stealth, so
Yeah, it turns into the question of,
No,
were
it's
you
not good
just
enough.
trying to get away, or
Actually,
were you trying to be
Octavia,
stealthy
roll
about
me
it?
roll me a stealth check, and we'll do a competing.
okay.
There we
okay.
go. So probably
Uh,
that's not good enough.
Let me get my camera controls set up, and that should be dice. All right, so +12, 19.
Nope, not good enough. You don't see where she heads off to. Which alleyway she ducks down.
Okay, fair enough. And here's the survival roll to try and find a trail.
It's a 20. With that roll, we're gonna jump hard cut over to Octavia. We're back. Well, at this point, Carlin, you're looking around the city, looking at the people. The courtyard's starting to clear, and you see walking out of the Overlord Ziggurat is the Overlord, and he's got his thumbs tucked into his belt buckle. Looks very casual. He kind of gives a like a front, like well, this is a shit time. And he's kind of eyeing around, looking around the courtyard, looking at kind of people, the last few people clear out of the courtyard. There's another big sigh of, oh god, another day as the Overlord of Zalaman Takesh. And he looks over eventually and sees you and makes eye contact with you. And with that, we're gonna come back to you, Octavia.
I don't like that.
I wouldn't like that either.
You, in the madness of that situation, you run down the closest alleyway, which happens to be, hold on, let me look at the map here. It happens to be this alleyway, if you can see it on the map. And it takes you into the
okay,
shackles.
I think I see what one you're referring to. Yep.
You cross over the train tracks. You cross over into the shackles, the district of Shamut, the god of bulls and what's the word? Punishment, like the jailers and the executioners. That's Shamut.
Oh, precisely where I want to be, she said sarcastically.
And the madness, you're still jumping around. You're still unused to this metal collar around your neck. You can't seem to get off. And there's a chain dragging behind you, making noise. It's very all disorienting. And you're kind of going fast, ducking around corners. And eventually you turn one corner and it's a dead end. You're like, oh, okay. And you turn around and it's a dark alleyway. And blocking the entrance to the alleyway is a little human toddler. Not toddler, like 4 or 5 years old. Blonde, disheveled hair, little boy, rags for clothing.
So we've made a turn into horror
Yeah.
stream.
Hey,
This is the second quote-unquote little kid that has appeared out of
Slow
nowhere
down.
and really
Slow
been creepy.
And you turn the corner and this child says to you, goes, "Hello, governor. What you doing in this part of town?"
All right, no longer scary.
Yeah. Now it's just
You are one. You are one bloody pretty Pegasi.
I mean, I'm gonna play the dumb horse and say nothing.
Oh, you got nothing to say? Oh, well, I'm gonna have to introduce you to my friends. Oh, my Cockney accent is going right out the window. And all of a sudden, like, a bunch of other little kids pop out of nowhere, like street urchins.
We're back to scary.
Yeah, we're back to scary.
This
I
is a
mean,
roller coaster of emotion.
we're like
Swamp Swimmer,
we're
you're
not
doing
we're not. So first little kid just shows up at the end of the alleyway. Like, that's pretty scary. We're talking like a 6-7. Bunch of little kids pop up after this, kid starts speaking, and he's got a Cockney accent. We're at like a 4-5, but it's still more than the like 2 that we were at when, he was speaking. But not quite as much as, where did this kid come from? Why is he blocking the alleyway?
And he pulls out a piece of, like, just, like a piece of wood that was like a piece of furniture, like a table leg. And he starts beating it, in, like, tapping it into his hand. And he says, "Well, I'm gonna get a pretty penny for this horse."
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
This is a dead end.
Yeah.
How much of a dead end are we talking? Is it just like your standard, foot chase, and they turn down the alley and there's just a fence gate, but you can hop the fence?
No, it's buildings. It's buildings. It's 2-story buildings on all sides, 3 sides.
Okay, but there's no roof.
No,
right?
yeah, you can fly out. You can fly out.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna hop the building. I'm just gonna hop the building. I'm just gonna go right over. Like,
as they start stepping closer, you unfurl your wings to take off, and it scares the leader kid, and he says, "Oi!" and he steps back. He says, and then he said, and he squints his eyes and he looks low. He's like, "Hey, Pegasus, are you in prison too?" And he notices he can see your collar.
I don't like this, but okay. Do any of the like, quick glance, like I'm talking like super quick glance, do any of the kids that are currently surrounding me also have collars?
Oh, that's a good question. Give me a perception check.
Let's see. This is +9. 21.
Yes, some of them have collars. Some of them have actual shackles on their wrists. But with
What
that
about-
roll, you don't notice. You see some of them with collars on like that, but none of them seem to be the same collar you're wearing, like the magical one.
Okay. And in particular, does this leader kid have one?
No, he has shackles on his wrists.
Okay. And none of them... Okay, actually, let's do this. We'll go ahead and use one of my new abilities. Detect magic.
Oh, okay.
I just want to... Because it's a 30-foot emanation from me for detecting magic. I just want to see if there's any...
You cast it, and you reveal 0 magic.
Okay. I assume other than anything that I'm carrying or wearing.
Yeah. You don't have any magic items on right now anyway, so.
Well, I imagine the collar would...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is
the
magical,
collar
so
does.
like that would be...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think any of the other stuff that I have on me would be considered a magical item. Okay. So
And you rolled a total of a 20 for the perception check?
21.
You also notice that while the leader kid is confident, the majority of the other kids are acting tough, but they're when you make a sudden move, they cower.
Okay. For the ones that are wearing collars, that are, quote unquote, like mine, do I get any sense that maybe they were at one point exactly like mine and were of a magical nature?
No, the ones they're
Or they
wearing are
just-
very simple and crude. You are wearing
Okay.
a something of high craftsmanship.
Okay. I have my doubts that they could help me then. Like, the only reason that I kind of stuck around and was because I was like, okay, well, if they're asking that, maybe they can help. I mean, I guess it's possible they could know somebody, but I'm not entirely sure I want to be indebted to a bunch of street urchins.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me just do a little roll here. A little roll. Okay. And the leader kid eventually gets a little close to you and squints and moves a little closer, and he says, "Oh yeah, you're a slave too. Oh boy, do you want to join our gang?" What's
Oh, I see.
Oh, Pegasus. What's your name? And with that, as you see the leader's kind of demeanor, relax a little bit. The rest of the kids, including ones that are he's maybe the oldest, the oldest kid is the leader. The rest of the kids are relax a little bit. The little 3-year-old stops crying and actually smiles at you. And with that, we will jump back to Carlin.
Hold on. I potentially one second. I potentially have a response. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, I think this is appropriate as a response to what's your name?
Oh Jesus.
Production values
Man,
so high
this
right now.
This Pathfinder live play is just it's hitting top marks. This is fantastic.
And now we can cut to
And we cut
It's a
to
perfect
Carlin. Carlin, the Overlord walks up to you with his bodyguards kind of on both sides.
Oh no, he doesn't. As soon as we make eye contact, I'm gone. I'm out.
As you make eye contact, he starts walking towards you, and you turn on your heels and start walking swiftly the other way. He says, "Where are you going? Come back. Speak to the Overlord." And with that, as you head to the other side of the courtyard, 2 guards just show up, block your way, and they say, "The Overlord requests your presence."
So looking at this map, I see, I'm not going to count them, but a lot of alleyways and streets. Can I make one attempt at just bailing? And
Sure.
All right.
Give me
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, it's definitely an athletics.
Okay. Here we go.
And let me get a contrasting roll here.
Okay,
Oh.
never mind. Now I'm picturing I turn to run, and the guard is just standing right there, and I just kind of bonk into him and fall down.
Hold on. Remember to refill your
You
one
do have
hero point.
You have one hero point.
I do have my hero point. I thought about that. I think in this situation, I
You're not gonna
cannot
use it.
override the comedy of that situation.
So as you
Of that
turn,
outcome.
Reasonable.
you are a human-sized character, obviously, and the
Yes.
guard is a dwarf-sized character. So you turn to run, but within your expediency, you don't look down. You look straight ahead, and you end up
The
just
visibility in the helmet is
it's
not
bad.
great.
It's bad.
So, yeah.
And
it's
you
fair.
end up tripping and like kneeing the dwarf basically in his chest and tumbling over him in your armor, just clink 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 clinking. You're disoriented. You're on your back. You're like trying to open the visor to your helmet, and eventually you look up and you see the overlord standing over you, looking down at your face, with two other guards looking down at your face also. And he says, "Well, that wasn't very clever."
Well, I mean, you know, I think it was relatively clever. It may not have been graceful, but
With
my
that,
lord.
he re-sticks his
Tips helmet.
dink. He re-sticks his thumbs into his belt buckle and he says, "Listen, worshipper of Suna, I have a proposition for you. Spare me 5 minutes of your time."
I'm still laying on the ground.
Yes.
Well, as of this moment, Your Eminence, I'm not going anywhere, so shoot your shot.
Good, good. Stand up so I can look you in the eyes.
I will stand up.
And he doesn't even look you in the eyes. He looks like, up at you. But he says, as you can see, that little situation in the ziggurat did not go how I planned.
Yeah, crazy, right?
The four leaders of Zaraman Takesh are constantly fighting with each other. And there's a weak, fragile bond between the four of us to keep this city together. I do not want that bond to be broken. They're upset with me, and now they all return to their districts, and they will not return unless they're coaxed. I will give you, if you are able, I will give you 5,000 gold pieces to get on the other leaders' good side and convince them to come back to my ziggurat and parlay with me.
Well, that is certainly an interesting offer, but
Yes,
as
the faith from the people has been broken, so I cannot trust my own people. I must ask you, a outsider.
understandable, but as a priest of Suna, I have other responsibilities in this city, and also, what exactly makes you believe that the other leaders of the city will listen to me as an outsider?
The Infernal Dwarves are a people of compensation. Every Infernal Dwarf has a price, and any offer will be listened to. I know of significant problems in all of the 3 districts that you can help with. And if you do this, they will listen to you. And do not worry about your previous obligations. I have complete power over contracts.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because there was this this thing with the Lamasu and a cake. It's a really very long story, but long story short, I'm not much of a cook, and I had to make this cake on this specific day, and yeah, I mean, if you could get me out of that, I might be interested in helping you out.
As I said, for us, it is all about transaction. I'll tell you what. What is your name, sir?
My name is War Priest Carlin Vogel of Wilhelmshaven.
Carlin Vogel. Okay, yes.
Close enough.
I am aware that in the Shackles, the district of Shamut, they are facing problems with disappearing slaves. And there are whispers of the vulture. The vulture has returned. The vulture for many years was merely a myth, but recently slaves have been disappearing again, and vulture is a myth that there is someone who buys up the cheapest, most worthless slaves, and they are never seen again. If you can find the reason for these slaves disappearing, and if it is this vulture, dispatch the vulture. I will edit all of your contracts. This will also make the leader of Shamut come to the table again.
I have one other request to make. The Pegasus that you were gifted was amongst the members of my traveling party on my way to this city. Would you free that Pegasus to assist me in achieving this goal? I assure you that her help would be most useful, and also grant her her freedom in perpetuity. Let her go free.
He again kind of pushes his head back and chuckles, and you see his belly kind of jiggle as he laughs, and he says, "Yes, that is very good. Pegasus are funny creatures. I will.
Buddy, you don't know the half of it.
I will help you. I will allow the Pegasus to help you, assist you in your task, but her collar will only be removed once the vulture is ended."
Fair enough.
Very good.
Could
It is a deal. And he
Not-
snaps his finger, and a little goblin teeters up behind him, and it's what's his face? Spuds. It's Spuds. And he says, "Yes, sir. What can I do for you?" And he says, "Please write a contract. You heard everything." He says, "Yes, sir." Again, you look down, and there's Chomp Chomp just humping your leg. Sweet, sweet love into that leg.
Boy, howdy, does he love that leg.
He's really Chomp Chomp is really sneaky. He's sneaky.
You gotta get yourself a tail. You could just snap it at him.
I mean,
Get him off you before he even gets close. Yeah.
again, the visibility in the helmet is not good, especially like
That's why you
up
need
and
a
down.
tail. That's
It's
why you
all
need
lateral.
a tail. It's all automatic. Doesn't require any visual cues at all. It's all automatic.
Well,
Okay, as he's
we'll
writing
work
up the
on that.
contract, I need you to give me an Arcana roll.
Oh boy.
Not my strong suit. I am going to cast the cantrip guidance on myself for a +1 circumstance modifier.
Yeah, might as well.
I believe in you.
A 12.
not bad. It's
All right,
above
so
average.
when the
Yeah, but
contract
it's not good.
when Spuds is done writing contract, he hands it to the Overlord. The Overlord looks it over, and you see him. You don't see where it comes from, but he all of a sudden has a wax stamp in his hand, and it's ornate, and it's actually like it looks like red marble. And he takes it, and he holds the contract in one hand and stamps it with this marble stamp. You know, like I don't know what the right word is, but you know the thing you stamp into wax to create an impression that has a seal on it.
A signet.
Signet? That sounds right.
It's like that signet rings.
Yes.
Yeah, they used to
Like
be
those
on
stamp
rings so
rings.
that they'd always have it with them and they could just easily do it.
And he stamps it, and you don't know how or what. You can feel something magical happening there.
Gotcha.
Okay, we're gonna jump back to Octavia. The question is for Octavia: is did you leave or did you stay now, or did you go now? Did you stay or did you go now? What song is that?
Should I
Should
stay
I
or
stay or
should
should I
I
go now?
go? Yeah,
By the Clash.
There
Yeah.
you go.
yeah. Like, I mean that is the question of the moment, at least. Okay. I'm gonna stay, but I'm not lowering my wings.
Okay. All right.
So I'm still kind of in this like intimidating stance. Like even so insofar as like I'm like crouched down, just like ready to just launch myself straight up.
Okay.
But I have not moved.
So you're saying that a gang of children is like a bear? You have to make yourself look as big as possible to keep them...
Well,
Make
No,
loud
no,
noises and be big.
No. Well, I mean, so I realized that when I unfurled my wings, a number of them, like jumped back and were intimidated by that. So by keeping them open, I'm hoping that will remain as kind of an intimidating presence. And I'm still in a position where I can quickly just GTFO if I need to.
Okay.
But I have not moved.
Okay, so the kids continue asking you questions. Like, you stay. So you haven't moved. It's been roughly 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And the kids are doing the kid thing where they just ask question and you don't answer. And ask another question and you don't answer. And then ask another question and you don't answer.
I will say that while I may not be speaking common,
Mm-hmm.
I will make various horse noises
They have,
as if in response to their questions. So
they have
at
no
the very
idea what
least,
you're
they
saying.
Well, right. That's the goal, but they know that I am understanding them at the very least.
Okay.
Like I'm at the very least like I'm waiting for them to end their inquiry and then responding.
Are you at least giving? They're asking you like yes or no questions. Are you giving a positive or negative response or just?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like one's like, hey, do you like rainbows? Are you happy? Do you like to run?
He's a Pegasus. All Pegasus.
Do
all
you
Pegasus
do you
like
have
rainbows,
do you have
I
a lot
feel
of
like.
friends? Are your mom and dad Pegasus too? Like
That's a complicated question. That will actually get no response.
But
that
like,
will get no
are
response.
you nodding or shaking your head
so,
or
like, okay, so from my perspective, the noises I'm making are in the positive or negative to these yes or no questions. But it is very unlikely that they will be able to discern what those noises
Okay.
are interpreted as.
Unfazed. These kids are asking you these questions. You're getting some sort of
right,
cryptic
right. They're like
response.
4, right?
They're like blowing right through the answers and just on to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is irrelevant.
I
Yep.
need you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give me.
yeah.
I need you to give me a perception check.
Okay. So plus 9. Ooh. 12.
You notice they've become a lot more relaxed. They're not attacking you or anything. They're asking you questions. They start encircling you, but like not like in a malicious way. But like, you know, some toddlers are, you know, sit down on their butt and are just like kind of looking at you and smiling. Some there's
Okay, yeah.
and the ones that are encircling you are getting closer to you, but it's because they really want to pet you.
Hey, as long as it's not an intimidating, like, advancement, like, all right, I'm chill.
All right, so one of them comes up to you and you're just like, you know, you're you know, just pets your back, and you hear him go like, "Whoa, you're amazing." Oh. And this little girl, it's a little girl, and she says, "You are so beautiful." And she continues to pet you.
All right, do I need to make a roll to, like, not show any reaction?
Is this a charm spell?
Yeah, roll it. Do you think Octavia is like that touches the heart a little bit?
Fortitude save.
Yeah, almost.
That's
like,
a will
what do you
saving
want me
throw.
to
A
roll?
will saving throw. Will saving throw.
A
for
will
sure.
saving throw. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's also plus 9. Let's see. Ooh. So 25.
Yeah. You're able to keep it inside.
Stone cold. Just.
And so
All right.
as this is all happening, you still the leader kid is still standing in there. He's got his arms crossed now, and he says, "Well, now they're I can't do a Cockney accent. So what's the deal there? Are you gonna join our gang or what? See here.
Now it's like a 1940s New York accent or something like that.
It's a newsy accent, like
Listen here, see?
read all about it, kids. Read all about it here. Women want the vote.
You know, honestly, I like that better than a
Okay, yeah.
Cockney
These are
accent
officially
for this
newsies
kid.
now.
Like,
They're newsies now. Yeah.
I love that. The idea that they're like, yeah, that just tickles me.
Yeah. A few of them are wearing, you know, like the floppy newsy hat, you know, like.
Oh yeah. No, here. This.
Yeah,
This right here.
exactly.
This right here.
Yeah.
I got it. I know exactly what. Now I gotta fix these. Hold on.
So yeah, he's asking you more questions. He asks you, "Yeah, see here, do you want to join our gang? See?"
So okay. So here's how I want the answer to that question to play out.
Okay.
I want to stare him kind of dead in the eyes. Like really get
Horse stare.
like
Now, so horses
like
kind of have eyes on the side
fixated.
of their head. Do you like do one eye and you like turn your head and look at it with one eye?
No. They can look forward. They can look forward, and it's very much it's very clear that like I'm looking him dead in the eyes and whatnot.
Okay.
And then, so how close is he to me?
Oh, 4, 5 feet.
Okay. And are any of the other kids between me and him?
No, directly in front of you. It's just him 5 feet away from you. But there are children that are closer to you on the sides.
Right. Okay. Now, if I were to suddenly jolt forward, would I trample any of these kids? Have they decided to get, like, underneath me, or would it be fairly clear? Okay. So, here's how I would like it to play out. So I've like, kind of, you know, in a stare down with him. I want to, basically, I want to jolt forward that 4 to 5 feet so that I am right on top of him, like right in front of him, like there's now inches away, and like basically my mouth is right next to his ear, and I want to whisper into his ear, I won't join you, but you can join me.
Jesus. So the sudden movement.
I will roll an intimidation check if I need to.
You pass. You can even roll an intimidation check and don't roll a 1. That's the key.
Okay. All right. I'll.
If you roll if you roll the 1, I will have you fall over. But beyond that, you're fine.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That is fair. Please, God, don't roll a 1. Oh my God!
No, you did. Move the camera. Move the camera.
We didn't see it. I want proof.
Okay.
No.
So, oh yes.
I'm using my hero point.
Okay.
I am using my hero point. No, I'm sorry. I'm using my hero point. This is.
It's too horrible.
It's too horrible. Like that's part of the reason why I agreed to it, was like the odds of me rolling 2 1s in a row.
It could happen. Oh
my
yes.
God!
That's amazing. Not a 1, but
not a 1.
The dice don't want this to happen, but it is going to happen.
I'm a man of my word. I said if you roll a 1, you fail, but anything else you pass. So
it is a 10. So after my deception and my +8 from deception.
So you, with like, you know, not that much speed because you rolled a 2. Like it's just like but you move forward really quickly, but your hooves slip a little bit, but you catch, and then you kind of get close to him, and you get close to him, and you whisper, "I won't join you, but you can join me." In the sudden movement, you see like on this kid's face, like you know, like when you surprise a kid, just like there's the freeze. Yeah. There's like too much input for the kid to like process, which just stops. Yeah. And he's just staring at you. He listens. A split second later, you see a big tear well up in his eye and fall down, and he sits down and starts crying.
Way to go. KBS.
Okay.
You made a kid cry.
I have this idea of like the movements that I would want to do, but I don't quite know how to correctly convey it. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So essentially, at that, like as soon as I realize that he's crying, immediately I'm like standing up straight, wings are plastered to my side, I'm frantically looking around to see like who saw this.
No. Wait.
And no. And then, so like frantically looking around to see who saw this.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to be clear that it was a whisper. I only wanted this one kid to hear me speak, not the rest of them.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
fair.
like, I want to. Oh, I actually have an image that I think. Let me see if I can find this real quick.
So what do you wait? What do you do? What do you do?
Well, I essentially I'm gonna get in kind of like a cowering position.
You're still gonna
Like,
intimidate this kid?
We're gonna double down.
Double down.
No. Like, I'm now like cowering in front of this kid. Like, this is not how I expected this to go, and like, so here, let me just copy. And
Imagine
paste
like
this.
your most unintimidating pose would you be like, sitting like a dog, like you're sitting with your hind legs, but your front legs.
No. Here, I just pasted an image into the group chat.
Okay, so you kind of curl up into like a fetal position, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few minutes of letting out some emotion. There's some crying going on, but then it subsides and there's some sniffling, and this kid gets up and he walks over to you. You're on the ground now, and he walks over to you and sits down next to you and kind of still sniffling, and leans up against you and rests his head on your shoulder.
Nice. I think that's a perfect cut.
Okay. Carlin, where were we?
Oh man, I don't even know after that. It was delightful from my outside perspective.
That was wild.
We had the contract had just been stamped. I think that was where we left off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't. Give me a society check. Society or diplomacy, one of the two.
Cool. I was hoping you would say that. Because while I'm excellent at diplomacy, I am absolutely terrible at society.
Oof.
Not
amazing.
That
Not
always
amazing.
translates to good rolls, but modifier-wise, it's an 11.
You don't know how binding this contract is. You didn't really agree, but you kind of implied that you agree, so the Overlord just took it as you agreed and made the contract, but also he's the Overlord, so maybe he has the power to do that. Maybe this contract's binding, maybe it's not.
Though? Is he?
He's still the Overlord.
He's kind of deposed.
He is still the Overlord.
At least for now, until they find a replacement, right?
Well, yeah, there's official process. You guys don't know this, but your characters don't know this, but there's gonna have to be a vote of no confidence, and until that happens, he's still the Overlord. There's a lot of political voting and process and due process that needs to happen. So he might not be the Overlord in the future, but at this current moment in time, he is the Overlord.
Okay.
That's exactly the kind of stuff that would have been covered by a knowledge in society, but not a knowledge in diplomacy. So that makes sense.
Ah, beautiful. I love it. I'm not there, so I couldn't roll my newly acquired society skill.
I'm sure I'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
You could run into a gang of kids and make one of them cry.
So, with that, the Overlord rolls up the contract, slides it into his pocket.
Oh, he doesn't even give you a copy of it.
And he
Yeesh.
says, my friend, give me just a second here. I just want to make sure I'm telling you the correct information. The last I heard about the vulture in the shackles, many months ago, this was happening, and then it subsided. It stopped 3 months ago, and just last week, it started happening again. And it's somewhere centered in the shackles. This black, and if you look at the map, this black square here is the ziggurat of Shamut. And the main road that it's on, the east-west road that it's on, is the main road in the shackles. And he says, all of the missing slaves have gone missing upon the Gauntlet of Shackles, which is this road. Upon their transport from Westgate into the center of town.
Okay, and just to be clear, that's this road here that I'm pinging?
Sure, let's call it that road. I was thinking about the road above it, but that's more of a main road, so yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. Any other information that might be helpful? Or is that all we have to go on?
That is all we have to go on.
Do you have any sort of intelligence network in the shackles that might be able to assist me?
Yes. Yes, I do. That is not part of the contract.
I mean, do you want it to get done or not?
I wanted to get done,
Well-
but it is a valuable asset. No, you shall not be helped.
Okay, so you want it to get done, but not that much.
Actually, you're right. You make a good point. Give me a diplomacy
I
check.
feel like diplomacy covers. Come on.
Diplomacy check.
Cool.
What is that,
17.
12? 17. Yeah, that's enough. He says, very, very well, very well. Head to the train station first. The train station master, the train master, knows all of the goings and comings in this city.
All right, I will. I was waiting for you to say, I have a gang of children that recovers information for me.
No, that's too easy. That's too easy.
Like Sherlock Holmes.
What are their name? The Untouchables? Is that the name of them in the Sherlock Holmes stories?
No, it's
The Irregulars.
The Baker Street Irregulars.
Irregulars. Yep.
You want some training on Cockney accents, then there are some great like old radio plays and
Really?
audiobooks of Sherlock Holmes stuff, and the kids in those, whoever does the voice acting for that, have some kick-ass
No, one of my
old-timey British street accents.
one of my favorite box games of all time is a game called Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and it's basically like a group choose your own adventure book, but you're solving a murder mystery in Sherlock Times England. It's so much fun. I freaking love that game. Okay, I have 2 boxes here in New York. If you ever want to come over and play, just fly to New York.
What game?
It's this game I love called Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and it's basically like a choose your own adventure book, but you play as a group, and you're just basically solving mysteries in Victorian England. It's freaking awesome.
You had me at choose your own adventure book.
Hit me
Anyway.
right in the childhood, and you talked me into it.
Yeah.
Getting off topic. So, what would you like to do, Carlin?
Well, I appreciate the assistance, your overlordship, and if you have nothing else, I will take my leave and make my way in the direction of the...
Before you leave,
When you
he
say
says,
train station, do you mean the one on the edge of town, or... is
no,
there
the
another
main
one?
train. We're next to the shipyard,
missed?
the train yards here.
The green outlined area.
The green outline area
Map.
is the train yards, so it's there.
Gotcha.
Before he leaves, he says, "One moment," and he reaches into his pocket and he flicks a coin at you. Go ahead and give me a reflex saving throw.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
That I rolled.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
In the most coolest, smooth action.
Okay.
You
What I like-
reach behind you without even looking and grab it out of the air, and then look over your shoulder and
No.
says, "I got it."
Can I propose? Can I propose something?
Sure.
Can I propose something? So, his helmet just has an eye slit, right?
Yeah.
He manages to thread the needle of the eye slit and then catch it in his mouth. He
No.
rolled a 24.
I feel like that's if I roll a 1. Like,
No, like
you fail,
like
but it's not
No,
totally
no. I'm
terrible,
saying,
'cause
I'm
it's low
saying.
stakes.
No, it's up to you, Carlin. It's your choice.
I gotta
But
look cool.
How are you gonna catch
all
this?
right, yeah, whatever you want. I just wanted to propose this because like it's basically a coin slot for your eye eye slits in your and like actively like, oh, I know it's coming, and like turning around and like ducking in such a way so that it just slides right in, bounces off your forehead, and then you catch it in your mouth. Like, I mean, nobody can see you actually catch it in your mouth, but
Yeah.
like it doesn't make a ringing sound after it enters. It never touches the helmet again.
I appreciate the idea. I'm gonna go, because I fail so often, I'm gonna go for the looking cool this time, since I already tripped over a dwarf.
Reasonable.
So you no look catch the coin in your pointer finger and your middle finger, just like, psh, and
Oh, like super anime.
and then you say
it's
some
a
sort of
stereoscope
and you
it.
say some sort of
Nice.
action movie one-liner like, "I'm always ready," like, "I'm always angry," something like that. I'm always ready for a coin. And you head off to the train station.
Is there anything interesting about this coin? I realize I'm not there, but I just have
Yes.
to ask because there's been one particular coin that has been synonymous throughout this campaign.
You look down at the coin, expecting to see a black feathered bird on it, but no. This coin on one side has a wide-horned bull head, and on the other side has basically a brazier with a flame that arcs off into 4 peaks. 4, tendrils of flame.
Okay, so I do the super cool, like, behind the shoulder, no look catch. And then I just sort of turn and walk away. And then a few steps down after that, I turn around and say, wait, what am I supposed to do with this?
I love it.
You see the overlord kind of rub the bridge of his nose. He's like, "Oh,
I'm from out of town.
give it to the train master."
Right, thank you. And then I confidently turn and continue on my way. However, I am sort of looking Because if I'm moving towards the train station, I'm not moving in the direction of where I think Octavia is, correct?
Correct.
Sort of the opposite direction.
It's not quite the opposite. It's more I guess it really depends on.
It's not the right direction.
You don't.
Put it that way.
You did not see where Octavia went, so you really don't have a direction. You're headed north. Octavia went west into the shackles.
Okay, so I am kind of looking back over my shoulder occasionally to see if that little group of the Overlord and the guards have left, because I would kind of like to locate Octavia first before proceeding onward.
You see the Overlord standing still in the middle of the courtyard with his thumbs hitched into his belt buckle, just looking at you. It's a bit awkward. You stop and turn on to see if he's still there, and it's very noticeable. You stop and look at him.
I give a little wave.
He does not wave back.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, common courtesy, not his thing, apparently. But yeah, after that, once or twice, I just kind of keep going.
Okay. And your destination is the train station.
Yes.
Okay, let's jump over back to Octavia.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab another beer.
Okay. At this point, and I want to hear the beer crack when you get it.
Well, so in I guess I potentially should wait for him to get back, because while it's not a beer, I do have a can here that I can crack. So we'll see.
We'll see who
better.
cracks. We'll see who cracks it better.
So there's that.
Before you continue,
well,
I want to say one
hold
thing.
on. Okay.
Oh, I want to know what you want to say. Okay, go ahead. Good, sir.
Okay, well, so what I want to say is that we should make this particular segment quick, because I got to take my meds.
Okay. We'll make it quick.
It had nothing to do with the game. It's just.
Okay, so there's a small time jump, 10-15 minutes between we last saw.
Okay.
At this point, the kids are slowly, one by one, coming over to you, sitting down next to you, snuggling up next to you, and laying their head. And at this point, 10-15 minutes later, at least a dozen kids
Have fallen asleep on me.
Oh yeah.
I kind of saw this coming.
And I need you to give me a perception check.
Okay. I can do that. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, actually, I think I do have some technically magical items on me. I've got those 3 potions that I stole. Those are considered magical, right? So that is
A lot. You pass.
Yeah, that's 26.
That's a crit success. You're still in this dead end alleyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
You notice.
Okay, hold on. Carlin's back, so we can at least initiate.
This is a can crack off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. So I've got mine ready. So let me go first, and we'll see if yours is better.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I never hear mine.
I don't hear mine really
Here.
either.
So I never know what mine sounds like. But here we go.
Okay. I have to be the third party. I have to be the neutral judge here. Carlin's got it.
Yeah. No. I agree. There were at least 3 distinct cracks in his. I only heard 2 in mine. No contest.
All right,
His are better.
Octavia, as you're sitting there in this pile of sleeping, cuddling children,
Mm-hmm.
you notice, and you notice the mouth of this dead-end alleyway, which is a cross
Mhm.
street, obviously. You see...
Quick question.
Mhm.
I imagine it's a lot of stone.
Yeah.
What color is the stone?
It's dark. It's
Is it
almost...
kind of
It's almost like lava rock.
okay? So like blackish and grayish, kind of.
Black
okay.
with
Okay.
gray speckles. Yeah.
Okay. So one thing before you say your piece, one thing. Once I notice that like pretty much all of the kids are asleep, I am going to like kind of wrap my wings around them.
Yes.
And if you remember, I am black and gray. So in a shadowed alley, potentially blending in.
There's a stealth check there.
Yes. Just in case it's needed.
But
Just wanna make
what
sure.
you see is, and you rolled very high, so you see, the... I didn't say this out loud, but it's getting into nighttime here.
Okay.
You see the reflections of a torch around the corner. So someone coming down the cross street with a torch held high. And you can see
Okay.
it's coming closer to the intersection of the streets. And you rolled so high, you hear the voice of an infernal dwarf.
Okay. So, first and foremost, is he speaking common? Or is the dwarf speaking common? I don't want to assume it's a he.
No, he is speaking infernal dwarf, which you do not understand.
Okay. Based on... So,
Hold on, Warrior Womp says, episode name, Octavia's Orphanarium. Sorry, continue.
I like it. Okay, so did I roll high enough to get an understanding of approximately how far the light from his torch is reaching?
Okay. So when he turns the corner, will the light reach you?
Well, yes, that's what I'm trying to discern here.
Yes,
are we far enough?
It will.
Okay. What is immediately around that could potentially hide? What is it?
Nothing.
Like eight kids? Okay.
There's a few, cracked barrels.
Well, okay.
Like a
To be
couple
fair,
barrels. That's about it.
they at the very least could hide somewhere because they did hide from me as I was running down the alley and then quote unquote surprised me.
So give me
So
a society check. Give me a society check.
Oh, good. I get to use my new +6 to society. Ooh, that's a 10.
10. I'm gonna give it to you, but these guys are street urchins. These kids.
Yeah.
You know that street urchins in big cities like this have different ways of traveling around the city.
Yeah.
They have information that you don't about traveling around the city. I'm just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's what I would like to do. The quote-unquote leader, because it's kind of still up in the air at this point, but the one who was the leader of their little troop, I want to essentially nudge him awake and point out the fact that there's a torch coming,
Uh-huh.
and then kind of rouse the rest of them and figure out where they want to go.
Okay, so you wake up the leader. You give him a little nudge on the shoulder, and he gives you the little kid sleepy eyes, like he rubs his eyes and looks up at you, and he says, "What? I was in the nicest dream." And you point at the torches. It's getting close now.
Mm-hmm.
He looks over, and he says, "Wow, oh, oh boy, we're in quite a predicament here."
I don't know how, but I forgot that was the voice, and
Yep.
I still love it.
Yeah,
Still love
it's
it.
great. It's great. I love it.
And he says, "Quick, quick, Pegasus, follow me to the underground." And you see him get up and move pretty quickly over to one of the barrels, and you see him, not lift it up, but like how you roll a barrel, the roll it's on its edge.
Yeah.
He rolls the barrel off. Beneath the barrel is a manhole cover.
Oh.
And you see him stomp on one side of it, and it, it's only connected to the manhole hole on 2 points, so it spins.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it goes up 90 degrees. He says, "Look here, Pegasus. You're the bee's knees. Follow me." And he jumps down into the into the sewer.
Assuming that I can, considering I'd only be able to squeeze through half of the manhole cover.
Oh, this is actually, hold on. This is actually a real action you can do in
Oh yeah,
Pathfinder.
squeeze.
Squeeze.
That's right. Because one of the feats I was looking at was like being able to get effective, the +2 circumstance bonus to the squeeze action.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. I love it.
Squeeze skill action
I
for
missed that.
241. 241. Oh, we're gonna do this.
Oh yeah,
241.
absolutely.
Squeeze. You control yourself to squeeze through a space so small you can barely fit through. The action is for exceptionally small spaces. Many tight spaces are difficult to terrain. Blah 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 blah. Success. You can squeeze through in 1 minute per 5 feet. Are you trained in acrobatics? I'm assuming you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I am trained in acrobatics.
So you can do this, and it's just an acrobatics check.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
And I have the DC in my head, so go ahead and do it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a 26.
So, with that, all the kids are waking up and they're being all like, shh, quiet, they're coming. And they start jumping down, like in the manhole lids, like, at 90 degrees. So there's a hole there's a blank space on both sides of the manhole cover.
Yeah.
So they're jumping down 2 by 2, right?
Yeah.
And you're the last one and you're like, oh boy, you decide to do like a little jump, a little flap of your wings to give you a little extra height, and then you swan dive.
Yep. Okay,
Just
I love it.
shrinking in
It's
your
perfect.
body, like, pulling in your wings so you get a lot of speed.
Yep.
And you just barely, like when you hit the hole, you hear like a thump, like, because it's just big enough for you to go through.
It's just I love it.
And the downside of this is you do tumble down into the sewer, but as you hit that manhole covers, which
Can I make a reflex save to land gracefully?
You can, but give me a second. And as you pass
Okay.
by the manhole cover, you nudge it because it's a very tight squeeze.
Yeah.
And it turns again. It goes twink 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 twink. And it closes flat.
It lands flat. Nice. Nice.
And give me that reflex saving throw.
All right. Awesome. Come on, 8 or higher. It's only a 3, so that's a 15.
Yeah, I mean, you land on your feet, but you land.
Yeah, it's
you land on your feet.
It's not.
You land on your
It's
feet,
not
but it's
super impressive.
But it's on a cobblestone base of the sewer pipe, the sewer tunnel.
Yeah.
And you land just fine, but unfortunately, you just land with your hoof right in some guck. Whatever's in the bottom of the sewer, just.
And so it's immediately I jump to the side and I'm shaking my hoof what the hell was that? Yeah, okay. I love it.
Very well done. I thought that was fantastic. And you do this just in time, and
beautiful.
the viewer sees 2 infernal dwarf guards turn around the corner, do a visual check down the alley, and continue down the street, unsuspecting of anything. And so we're gonna do a little jump here. You're now in the sewers, which is actually different. Remember, you have a map of the aqueducts. Well, not aqueducts, but the water reservoirs in the city. This is actually a different system.
Isn't that for the other? Isn't that for the other city?
Yeah, I think that was Nezitkesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know. You were in the sewers, period. And kind of without prompting, the kids start heading down the sewers as if they know where they're going.
I mean, I'm gonna assume they know where they're going. I pointed out that there were torches coming, and they immediately jumped into the sewers. And my society check was at least enough to know that they have other ways of getting around the city than normal roads.
And the leader kid turns over his shoulder and he looks at you and he says, "See here, friend. Come with us. We'll take you to a great place. We know these sewers we know these sewers like the back of a newspaper." No, I got nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something as well that would be 1920s, 1950s newspaper boy saying for back of our hand, and I couldn't come up with one either.
I mean, the back of my hand probably comes from that era.
Yeah, probably true.
Yeah, probably.
It's just a holdover.
That's
we
probably
know this
true.
like the back of my fingerless gloved hand.
Yep.
Okay. He leads you down the tunnel, and eventually you make it to the tunnel opens up into a wider space, and it's, how do I describe this? There's uneven earth, and over you, it's a big wider space, open top, uneven
open
earth.
Top. Interesting.
It's like a pit basically, but bridging over this pit are dozens of rail lines. And you quickly figured out that you are basically beneath the rail yard.
Okay.
Underneath the tracks.
Interesting.
And as you enter the space, these kids, they kind of stay close to you. And there's a bunch of there's some trash cans with a fire in it. There's some goblins huddling in front of the fire, rubbing their hands together. And
oh, okay. Your typical under the bridge homeless settlement kind of thing.
exactly.
All right. Lovely. I love it.
And as you walk by, it's this fat, kind of very horribly proportioned goblin says, "Hey kids, you want some smack?" It's like who's your friend there, kids? Yeah.
Okay, can I on whatever side we're passing this goblin on, that wing is now covering the kids that are on that side, and am like ushering them forward a bit faster.
Hey, Pegasus, I like your feathers. I'd like to wear them, if you know what I mean.
I don't, but I don't like it.
Okay. Okay, hold on. At that, how close is this? I'm assuming this is he like huddled around a burning garbage can?
Yeah, with like 2 other goblins, yeah.
Okay. How close is the garbage can to me?
Oh, 5-6 feet?
Okay. Can we just have this happen? Basically what I want is I want a throwing knife to be buried in that garbage can now.
And it spark
Like-
up and...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I threw it into the garbage can, but like I want the knife to be visible, but like it very clearly like I just threw a knife at them, purposefully missed them and hit the garbage can, but like as like an intimidation tactic. I can roll something if you want.
Give me an
but-
attack roll. It's an attack roll.
Okay. Okay.
A ranged attack roll.
Yeah. I think this. Yeah, thrown usage. Okay, so it's plus 10. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That's a 28.
100%. You kind of whip your wing. A throwing dagger comes out between your feathers, flies straight. It hits the side of this can, which is a metal, like metal trash can, basically.
Yeah.
And it just lets this large tong as it embeds itself in the side, and with the trash can vibrates from that impact, and it like stirs up the coals and the flame roars up a little bit. And you see the goblin step back and say, "Whoa! You're too crazy for me, you damn Pegasus!" And he turns around and walks away.
I said it in the chat,
Okay.
and I will say it out loud. I am genuinely surprised and impressed by Octavia's motherly instincts, and I think that's serious character growth, at least from my perspective. So kudos
Right.
to you.
Right? Okay, so that goblin left. Did the other goblins around it leave?
Oh yeah, the other
As
goblins
well?
leave. Yeah, they leave together.
Okay, then I'm gonna go retrieve my dagger.
Yeah,
I was prepared to just leave it, but I'm gonna go retrieve my dagger at that point. Like,
you grab
why
your
waste
dagger.
money?
Yeah, you got it. And basically, the kids lead you to the far side of this pit, and it's loud. Like every few minutes, a train's going overhead, and it, you've been next to a train, like a full-on train before. It's freaking loud. And this is a fantasy train that's steam powered. Like, yeah, it's crazy loud.
Yeah.
And the back in the far corner of this pit, you see some sort of like hovel, basically, and it's basically built out of some like planks of wood that's been leaned up into the corner of this pit, and the leader turns to you and he says, "See here, this is our hangout for our club. And I don't know your name, but I would like to officially introduce myself. My name is Oliver Twist. No,
Of course.
no, Oliver Fist. Oliver Fist. That's my
Oliver.
name.
Okay. I'll.
That's a questionable decision, but
Yeah,
I think we just move on.
Yeah, I'll allow it for now. We
You-
might have to come up with a better name for that.
You can call me Ollie for short. What is your name, Pegasus? I do love you.
I'm I'm gonna look at him, and then just kind of cock my head to the side.
Just okay. And he
Yep.
He says, "Fair enough. You are our friend. You're going to be part of our gang. You're the cat's pajamas. Come on in." And he leads you into this hovel, and it's kind of like it's like very Disney-esque. Like there's piles of rags where like each kid has a little bed that's kind of like tiered up into the side of the pit, and they all sleep together. And then there's a few candles, and yeah, it's very, very sad, but very
classic. Like, I'm thinking, like an American Tale when they actually like first moved to America. Like, yeah, that's what I got right there.
Great movie.
It is.
And Fievel Goes West. Great
Fievel Goes West.
Absolutely.
Wow. Fievel.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're gonna pop back over to Carlin.
Okay. I'll be right back then.
Yeah, do your thing. And Carlin, you approach the train station. It's a large building. It's a main train station of the capital city, so it's huge. And what do you want to do? There's throngs of people getting off trains, getting on trains, multiple trains pulling in and pulling out.
Okay, and I was informed to go see like the train master, station master. Is there like one big building?
Yeah.
That looks like
give me a perception
station. Check. Okay.
Yeah.
22.
So there's all these train tracks are kind of branching out from the main, arterial train track that goes through the city, and they're all like kind of, parking spots for trains that, split out from the main track, and then there's a lot of trains lined up. On the far side of all of those, loops that come out from the trains is a grand train building. And inside that building, or terminal, if you want to call it that, and inside of that, on the second floor, after asking a few people and perusing around, you find the train master's office.
Okay. Is it like I'm picturing a door with like top half glass, frosted, says train master on it.
But instead of like written in like gold lettering, it's like etched into the glass.
Fancy. I like it. Okay, I will try and open it first. Just sort of walk in.
You turn the handle, and you don't even have it open an inch, and you hear a voice say, "Who the hell are you, and what are you doing here?"
Oh, shit. I kind of assumed there would be some sort of reception area for something like this. I will walk in and say, "I beg your pardon, good sir."
So behind a very low and very wide desk sits an infernal dwarf. Dwarves are short. This gentleman is shorter than your average infernal dwarf. But he makes up for it. He really makes up for it in the size of his hat. He wears a tall, cylindrical hat. Probably doubles his height. It's that big. And it's intricately, engraved with, lined with metals and gold that's been carved, and actually at the top of the hat is a circle, right? Like a little table way up there. And on the rim of the hat, it's a little toy train just
oh my god,
around the top of his head.
The coolest fucking thing ever.
and you every few minutes you hear a little, and then it continues around the rim of his hat.
That's brilliant storytelling, Swamp Swimmer. Great job.
Ask you again. What do you want? What are you doing in my office, buddy?
You can't see through the helmet, but Carlin is just like staring at the top of the hat, watching the little train for a second, just dumbfounded and awestruck. And then he kind of snaps back to reality. Whoop, there goes gravity. Apologies. I was admiring your just absolutely incredible hat. I was sent to see you by the Overlord himself.
I don't believe you, buddy. I don't believe you. What are you doing in my office? You're not part of the Overlord. Just get the hell out of here.
Okay. We're not doing introductions. I will do the same flick move that the Overlord did to me, and I'll try and land it just sort of on the desk in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't assume that anybody has the same incredible reflexes that I do to simply catch this coin. Would you like me to make some sort of, I'm sure, very impressive roll for that?
No, you just flick it over there. He, with shockingly fast reflexes, he reaches his hand up. Even with his hands fully extended above his head, he's not getting to the top of the hat. And fully hands up, he grabs it out of the air, just like it literally reverberates the coin in the air, like, and he pulls it down and brings it really up close to his eyes. Like, he doesn't look at it like in his hand. He's like this, and he closes one eye. He's like, oh man, you surprised me. Whoa, you follower. Who are you? Who are you again? Come closer, I can't see you.
Well, as I was starting to say, my name is War Priest Carlin Vogel of Wilhelmshaven in the Empire of Sonstal.
Okay, I don't care who you are. Just get closer. Come over here.
I will walk right up to the desk.
You walk up to the desk, and he just plants his hand. He jumps up onto the desk and comes like an inch away from you. Oh, and he's got one eye closed, squinting, the other eye looking at you up and down. Oh, my eyes aren't what they used to be, but you one of those followers of Suna, right?
Yes, as I said.
Yeah.
But yes, I am.
Suna, she's a pain in the butt, that one. Okay. I see here you got an official coin of the Overlord of Zalaman Takesh. Which means I gotta help you. Damn it. He climbs off his desk, and he sits back down. All of a sudden, the train on his hat and keeps going around his head. And he says, how can I help you?
Well, and I kind of mumble to myself, well, but first of all, I don't really appreciate the way you talked about Suna, but, well, the Overlord sent me to you looking for information about... Sure.
He chuckles to himself. The vulture. The vulture. The vulture.
Are you okay? You do not sound healthy.
I'm fine, you damn human. Jesus. I don't need your health advice. Keep it to yourself. The vulture.
Okay, I mean, I am trained in medicine.
No one's actually seen this person, the vulture, but everyone's talking about him. So, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you all I know about the vulture. So previously, months ago, there's always full troops of slaves going missing on the main avenue. And then all of a sudden, this stopped. I don't know why. It stopped. And then 1 week ago, started up again. Whole troops of slaves just going missing. I've got so many damn masters yelling at me saying they want their product. The only thing I can think of is that the whoever the vulture is, he was out of town and he came back a week ago. But you see, I'm the train master, so I got all the logs in the city. And he pulls a drawer out of his desk and brings a big stack of paper. Let's see here. People that left 3 weeks ago. That was a few people. Let's see here. There was a traveling highborn elf that left the city on that time. There was the head of the Nebezkesh district left on that day. And then one merchant left on that day. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, folks. Hold on. Gotta get this right. A last name Marzook. And then he flips over to other pages. People who returned a week ago. Let's see here. Some big band of hobgoblins. A warlord hobgoblin came back to the city. And then, looks like Marzook came back on the same day. Now, big flashback. Marzook was on the train with you. She was the woman who had the 3 kids. Infernal Dwarf.
And was looking for her dice in the early episodes, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, for reference, do you happen to have? I've been traveling recently myself. Do you happen to have today's date? Just to check.
Damn it! When was?
For the record, the last one I have is August 5th.
And you were supposed to.
Which
his
I believe
birthday...
was the day we arrived. His birthday was August 15th.
Yes. So
basically, I'm asking, how long has it been since we arrived? So
Monday,
it's been a week?
Monday, August the 7th. Oh, it's been a week? Yeah, it's been a week.
I mean, if Marzook arrived a week ago.
It's the league. It's the 11th.
Okay, just writing that down for my own records. Squeezing some information out of you. Interesting. Good to know. I mean, when you travel, the days, especially on the Steel Road, they all blend together. So thank you, sir. Now, do you happen to have a name for that high elf who left a month ago, or whenever it was?
Let's see here. His name was Pantorus. I remember him. He was a pain in my ass.
Oh, I mean, you don't need to tell me. Those highborn elves, they're all very hoity-toity, as we call them in the Empire. Interesting information you have there. Any other relevant things that you might be able to share with me?
Come on now, human, isn't it obvious? This Marzook is obviously involved somehow.
Well, I like to pursue all avenues and get
Jesus.
as much information as I can.
Oh,
When you
Master
say
Rook's name. Jesus. See here, you human. I don't like you very much, but I gotta help you out with this damn coin. I'll tell you what. If you really want to know if Mazook is part of this, head down to the pit beneath the train tracks. There,
right.
there you'll find all of the escaped slaves. Some of them I know for sure escaped. That's where they hang out.
the pit, could you be more specific about that?
Yes, he stands up, and still, even his hat doesn't come to your full height. And he goes behind his desk, and behind his desk is a great window looking out upon the train yards. And he says, "It's right there underneath all those train tracks. See how they're suspended? Great feat of engineering. We suspended all these train tracks above a soggy, sinking pit."
Oh, wow! I with that window right there, I can't believe I didn't notice it. Seems like that would be something of an Isha violation. That's where I come from. That's the Imperial Safety and Health Association. Yeah, terrible. And
Isha,
I apologize.
I like it though. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back in the campaign somewhere. Don't worry.
Excellent. Good. I'm glad I can help you world build in that sense. Oh, fantastic. I shall investigate that. And I assure you that the Overlord will know that you were most helpful to me in this endeavor. I
Yeah,
have
whatever.
One final question.
Whatever. That Overlord can kick rocks if all I care.
Okay, well then, how about this? I will tell him you said that, or I won't tell him you said that, if you answer one more question for me. When you say an entire troop of slaves disappeared, how many do you mean disappearing at the same time? Talking 10, 50, 100, or...
20 to 30.
Okay. Your accent changed.
20
there.
to 30.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, friend, I thank you for your information. And I bid you adieu. And again, that is the coolest hat I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, whatever. Get out of my office, kid.
Okay. Well, I don't suppose you'd share where you got that incredible hat.
Oh, this my hat? Oh, you like my hat? And he hits.
Really do.
He hits like a buzzer on his table, like like a big, think of like a steampunk button. And he says, "Candy, get in here." And in walks an infernal dwarf woman. Basically think of infernal dwarf, steampunk, mixed with the musical Hairspray. Big hair.
Mechanical
Beehive.
hair?
No, not mechanical, but
Just asking.
the beehive hairstyle of the 50s and 60s or whatever that is. And she says, "Yeah, what do you want?" And she says, this human wants to know about my hat." And she says, "Yeah, I made it. So what? What do you want?"
I admire your craftsmanship. Wow, harder to say after a couple beers. Milady, and simply had inquired as to where it had come from. I think, I mean, to make it more impressive and to befit a man of your station, train master, consider maybe like a tunnel up there and like some tiny mountains and some small terrain of some sort on the flat inner section of the hat. But the train is wow. Like
with that, the woman
super impressed.
Candy kind of waddles up to you, gets a little closer. She does the same thing he did, where she closes one eye and you know, gets really close to you to see, and she says, "Well, you're much better looking than I thought. If you
I get that a lot.
If you you know, maybe would give me a little bit of sugar, I could make you a hat like that." And then you hear the train master be like, "Oh, you're muted."
Oh, sorry, I went from voice activity to push to talk. Now, just to make sure this translates, sugar? I don't have any on me.
Well, she looks you up and down with her one eye. She gives you a little smooch, a little kiss of the lips. She puts her one hand on her hip. She wiggles her hip a little bit at you. She says, "Well, you're one tall drink of milk over there."
So we have another Marguerite situation going on here.
Up to you, my friend.
I don't know how this always happens.
And then you hear the train master. You hear the train master be like, "Damn it, Candy! Keep it in your pants. Go back. Get back over there. Back over there, Candy." And she turns around and winks at you. She goes to the door, looks at you, winks, and then goes back through the door.
I don't even know what to say, but I am a man of God, and whatnot. Yeah.
A man of a god.
I'm gonna go. Cool hat. Good talking to you. Thanks for the info.
Yeah. Don't let the don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I will do my best.
And with that, you are out. Are you heading into the pit?
Should he make a roll to see if the door hits him on the way out? He has complained about his vision the entire night.
No. What are you doing, Carlin?
I will make my way towards the pit. Maybe, ask some sort of passerby how I get down there.
Yeah, so you know these train tracks that branch off of the main rail line, kind of like our train platforms basically. But at the end of the platform, you see a mud path that comes off the actual stonework of the platform, and it wraps around and goes underneath the train tracks, and you realize that. You head down there. Again, you see the same sight. Think of any 1990s movie that the underneath an LA overpass kind of situation, burning barrels, shady figures, a scream and a gunshot in the distance.
So I'm sure it's much less colorful, but every time you talk about this, I'm picturing that scene from Batman Forever when they're in like this same sort of area, and like everything's neon painted, and like everybody has mohawks, because why the hell not? Worst Batman, nipples on the suit.
Yeah, of course.
Aside, that's what I'm picturing. I'm sure it looks more like everything's smeared in shit.
Yeah, everyone's just kind of grimy,
mud.
a little like damp. It's just damp and muddy. It's pretty bad.
But if I'm thinking of that movie, everybody else should have to go through that as well. So That's what I'm thinking of when you talk about this.
And you're down there, and I don't want to think of a way to do this, but
Maybe
you
it was
see,
Batman and Robin.
you happen to see, like, this is like just mind blowing for you, but you see Octavia walking into a hovel with a dozen children.
Oh, well, that was easier than I thought it would be. I will walk up to said hovel and try to knock, which I'm sure is more of like a squishing sound.
Like a damp thud.
Yeah, it's like trying to knock on something that's a mound made of mud.
Immediately when you knock, this kid, the leader of the group, jumps out of the doorway and raises up a weapon at you and, has it close to your throat. And before you can realize, you look at it and it's a fork.
Okay, So hold on. Since I am there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not well versed in how well a horse's sense of smell operates.
Yeah.
But I have been traveling with this individual for some time.
Fair enough.
Could I potentially
give me
make a perception check?
Let's do a
to
perception.
see- Okay. That is a 25.
Yeah. You definitely realize this is Carlin. You don't
Okay.
realize this until the kid's already jumped out the door. It kind of happens.
Okay,
and you see it.
no. This is perfect because this is exactly what I wanted to happen. Basically, what I want to happen at this point is I want to reach out of the hovel, like bite the back of his shirt and drag him back in, and then walk out.
So here's
slide him back in the mud.
Here's basically what
Yeah.
happens. The kid jumps out. He raises the fork at you, and he says, "Look here, Daddy Warbucks. What are you doing in my hovel here? What are you doing here?" And then you are surprised and maybe right about to answer, and then you see Octavia's head pop out of the hovel, grab him by the scruff of the neck, drag him into the hovel, and you hear him be like, "Now see here, stop what you're doing. I'm gonna defend my hovel." And then Octavia, you step out of the hovel to see Carlin.
And I'm gonna strategically position my wings so that nobody else, I'm gonna stand in the doorway and make it so that nobody else can get out. I imagine that they can get out in other ways, but I want to make it clear that you shouldn't.
Okay. Yeah, they stay in there.
Well, this is certainly convenient. I thought I was going to have to go searching for you specifically. Hello, Octavia. Which, side note, I think is the first time I've ever used your actual name.
I believe that is correct.
Versus Tiny Winged Horse.
I think you or Pegasus. That has definitely been thrown around a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've actively told other people my name, but you have never actively called me by my name.
It's a term of endearment. Tiny Winged Horse.
Yeah, we don't need to act this out, but Carlin, what do you want to tell Octavia?
Well, I mean, my question would be, what are you doing here? So it's a perfect opportunity for, what are you doing here?
There's got to be a how the fuck in there, or a what the fuck somewhere in there.
There's kids there's kids behind me.
Oh, whoa!
Right.
Earmuffs.
Of course. Those kids look like they've seen some shit, so I think we're probably fine. I have a plan to get that collar off your neck. We simply have to do some investigation and find out something about someone called the Vulture, who has apparently been disappearing large groups of slaves from the middle of the street. And it's possible that it was one of our previous traveling companions. Either Chaladastra, or do you remember that really annoying lady who was with her really annoying kids, who was asking us to find her dice weeks back? It's possible that one of those two individuals is in fact the Vulture. Also, how did you end up here with these angry fork-wielding children?
So I don't remember how much interaction I actually had with Marzook.
Very little.
So I don't.
when you
Yeah, I don't
went-
know that I would actually.
No, in the
I mean, I guess
first-
you
in the
did mention
first-
the 3 kids, right?
In the
these
first,
So I
guys
probably
had
would've
annoying
rem-
children.
no,
Yeah,
in the
I
first
probably would
couple
remember
episodes
them.
when you went and fought the orc, she paid you to go do that.
Oh, right. Okay, okay. Then yeah, I would actively remember her.
Do you remember when I so valiantly defeated that orc champion? She was the one who paid us to do that. That lady. When in fact, obviously, it was you.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm the one perpetuating that you were the one who actually vanquished.
The
Like,
delusion.
I'm not correcting you and have not been. So,
As you're having this conversation, Octavia, you feel someone not like hurting you, but like just tugging on your tail. And you hear the voice, and he says, "Now see here, I need to talk with you. Are you talking about the vulture? The vulture up there?
yeah, I was
Newsflash! I know about the vulture.
I was gonna.
Extra.
Extra.
I was
Read all about it.
basically gonna be like, "Hey, do you kids know anything about this?" So yeah, like essentially, like I'll like let Carlin in and like kind of make sure the kids are like, I still haven't actually like, the only kid that should know that I can actively speak is their
Is
quote unquote leader.
Oliver. Yeah, Oliver.
And so like I still haven't like actively said anything, but I'll like make sure the kids are kind of aware that, hey, this guy's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Give me what would that be? Nature roll or performance?
Nature?
Yeah, it's like, naturally expressing calm.
Let's
Nature
see,
or
nature.
performance?
I will do performance because it is one better than my nature.
Okay. Nine.
That's going to be 17.
Okay, yeah, you successfully do this. You successfully communicate through body language, like maybe you put your wing over Carlin's shoulder or something. I don't know. Through body language, you express that Carlin's a friend. And as Carlin comes in, Octavia comes back into the hovel. Oliver steps up in front of both of you. He says, "Now sit down. Sit down and listen to my story. You see here, I was once the child of an empire noble. And I had 2 brothers. And then those pesky goblins ambushed my noble family." He gets a little choked up, little gurgle in his throat. And they took us slaves. They killed my parents. It was the worst day of my life. But I had 2 younger brothers. I must protect them. And we were brought to Zalamantakesh, and you see here, we were sold to Marzook. She seemed all right. She seemed okay. A good owner. Wouldn't be too mean to us. But then we got to her home, and it was horrible. There was blood everywhere, and flashes of light, and shadows that seemed to dance along the walls and kill everyone. And I was barely able to escape, but I saw my poor younger brothers slain before me. Oh, hear me. If I could only take revenge upon this Marzook, I would be eternally grateful to you two.
Wow, that was a lot of information. And now I have begun to understand why that woman's children were so difficult, because she was in fact trafficking children on a train, I assume. That situation was suddenly far less humorous than I saw it immediately. Young man, I can promise you this. In the name of Suna, we will avenge your family, because I can tell you are upset about parent die.
Yes, I am.
As Carlin is saying this, like, you know those like pictures of like police dogs and whatnot that are like they're sitting up like perfectly straight with like their noses kind of pointed up, like as he starts saying that, I basically adopt that kind of pose as like a kind of, you know, an affirmation that yes, I will take on this noble cause.
Looking noble and majestic as fuck.
Yep.
Yes, with you at our side.
Here,
it's turning into a southern accent very slowly.
How does that always happen?
I don't know. I'm not very good at accents. No, newsy. Breaking news.
I love how you always have prompts, like go-tos to get you in that particular accent. You can always go extra.
Extra, read all about it. What was a news event? The war's over. Pearl Harbor has been bombed.
Too soon.
There we go. I just posted an example of like exactly.
Yes. I like it.
Like
onward and upward.
Yep.
If you are willing to see here, if you're willing to help us with this fine establishment and this noble cause, follow me. I know where Marzook's estate is.
Fantastic. If I don't even have to look, then everything's coming up Carlin. This has been a surprisingly easy investigation.
All right. Oliver and some of the kids, not all of them, but they lead the little kids there, tell them bedtime stories, and they fall asleep. But Oliver, this is the middle of the night. Oliver and maybe 5 kids and you two go through sewer tunnels, taking multiple left and rights. I need both of you to give me a nature check. Nature or survival, one of the two.
Both of mine are the same, so.
Oh, shnikey,
hey.
Carlin.
Oh, nice.
That's a nat 20.
I haven't rolled a nat 20.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Wow.
Holy cow.
that just answers that question. Okay, here, hold on. Give me a second
We
here.
did good.
Wow.
You've done good, boss.
Yeah.
Tell
So
us
that's
everything.
a 27 for me, 29 for Carlin, but nat 20s all around.
Again, this has been a surprisingly easy investigation.
All right, hold on. Give me a second here. Give me a
These
second.
children are surprisingly helpful.
Okay, the purple line, you end up heading... Oh, come on. Why is it green? How do I change the color of this? Green. Anyway, the green box I just drew in the Shackles area, that is the estate, the Marzook estate. Oliver gives you the option. He says, see here, I can take you through the front door or I can take you through the back door. What'll it be?
I mean,
Back
seems
door.
like, yeah, front door might be a little too obvious. So, yes, I agree with my tiny-winged compatriot. Back door.
Hold on. So I ideally I would have probably, because there's more than just Oliver here. So ideally I would have like just said that to Carlin. But before I actually say anything, is this single story or is this multi-story?
3 stories. This is an estate.
3.
This is an estate.
Okay.
It's so like, you know, in this area, this is the Shackle, so it's like not very nice.
Yeah.
But this area is kind of like a compound. It doesn't look very nice from the outside, but it's walled compound with one main building in the center. And it looks kind of like,
Okay.
it's kind of cathedral-esque, but not as big. But, you know, a steepled roof, a long rectangular building.
Balconies?
No.
Okay. Then yeah. Back door then.
Well,
If-
the other thing is that we may do well to do some surveillance of this location before we go in even the back door and just waltz in. What do you think, tiny winged horse?
I look at you incredulously because you've since used my name and now have not.
It's, you know, we're pals. It's a term of endearment, tiny winged horse.
It's a nickname now.
Head cocked. Like doesn't get it.
Skeptical. Fair.
That
Very fair.
in any case, yeah, I mean that's a good idea. Do we know if Marzook is actually in? Because I don't remember if she actually wound up coming all the way with us.
No, she
wasn't on the
she
train
was
as
left.
we entered town.
She was left there, but in the time since you've been in Zalaman Takesh, she's caught up with you. She came home on a different train.
And I would relay that information
Okay.
that she came back separately according to the train master. And I would describe in detail the very, very cool hat that this particular fellow had. It was like a big, it's like a top hat, but it kind of flares outward, and on the outside of the top circle there was a tiny train. It's the coolest thing I have ever seen.
No outwardly emotional changes, but Octavia's making plans to steal the hat.
Very cool. Much. Casino heist, not important. We need to steal this fucking
That hat.
Oops.
To the victor go the spoils.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
How do you put a
basically,
value on
the
that?
front door. To this compound. There's one main front door, a big gate. But also, Oliver basically tells you that the tunnels he knows about can get you into the basement of this building.
That's a little bit more inconspicuous than the back door, even. Like, straight up basement is A+.
Now, the one thing that we should make sure of before we go in, thank you, child, much appreciated for the information, but we should be 100% sure that Marzook is in fact here before we even infiltrate the basement. Now, child, would you and your compatriots be willing for a small fee to do surveillance of this location overnight and perhaps through tomorrow to ensure that the lady of the house is in fact in residence before we continue on?
Now see here. For you, shiny tall man, we will do that for you. Because we'd love this Pegasus. It is our friend. She is our friend, and we will do anything for her.
I have an entourage.
You have what was the name of this street again?
I have a gaggle of street urchins at my command.
What was the name of the street? I already forgot what I named it.
The something of Shackles, but I forget exactly.
The
what
Avenue
word
of
you
Shackles.
used. You have the Avenue of Shackle Irregulars,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, these kids find multiple hiding spots around the Marzook estate and keep an eye on it. This is basically middle of the night. What would you two like to do?
Perhaps find an inn and take an actual rest. Prepare ourselves for whatever shenanigans happen when we infiltrate this place.
You can do that. I would actually like to attempt to well, I guess it really depends on because it's getting to be, or is at this point, night, correct?
Oh, it's middle of the night. It's past middle of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, I don't know, slave trader, humanoid trafficking,
Humanoid trafficking.
might involve a lot of late night, rendezvous. I would like to attempt to utilize one of my feats from level 2, which is Shadow Mark, being you've learned special tricks to help you follow individuals without them noticing you.
Mm-hmm.
When you attempt a stealth check to avoid notice while following a specific target, the target takes a -2 circumstance penalty to their perception DC.
Who would you like to follow?
So,
I'll be right back.
ideally, it would be Marzook.
Yeah, you don't know where she is currently. She might be in her state, but you don't know where she is.
Right. And so, like, ideally what I want to do is I want to be in a position where as soon as she is located, I could be notified so that I could then potentially follow her.
Mm-hmm.
And like try and kind of figure out where, what kind of patterns she has, throughout the whatever her typical waking hours would wind up being, and figure out a potential best time to try to infiltrate this estate. When she isn't there and is potentially not going to be there for a decent amount of time.
Yeah. So you post up out front of the building. Wait for any sign of her.
Obviously, well out of
Yeah.
sight, probably on top of another adjacent building, where I can see if possible, see as many entrances and exits as are available to that particular building.
All right, wait for Carlin to come back, but I'm going to do a quick roll here.
Okay.
Did that just like not show up? Oh, I see.
I see that you rolled some dice.
I did. Okay. I want to know what Carlin does because it's gonna change what I do basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you post up, watching the front door of the estate. First of all, this part of the town, the Shackles, is not a nice part of town. It's run down.
Yeah.
It's warehouses. It's where slaves are stored and stored like livestock. It's horrible. So the outside of this building is pretty drab. But at night, you can definitely see some light coming from out of the windows. This is the one building in a big space that is relatively vibrant. Carlin, what do you want to do? Octavia is waiting for a sign of Marzook.
So, if possible, if there in fact is one, I would like to find an inn somewhere in the area. Not even maybe travel out of the Shackles and find a place to sleep. Or, I mean, honestly, I could even sleep on the street.
You head down the avenue of the Shackles. And there's one inn down by the Ziggurat in the Shackles. The Ziggurat in the Shackles. It's kind of on the back side of it. It's called Fair Trade, which is pretty sad. It's pretty bad. You go in and it is, because this is after midnight. This is way late into the evening. You head in and there's an infernal dwarf behind the counter. There's one hobgoblin in the corner, kind of sipping on a drink quietly with a hood up. That's all that's in there.
Okay. I will walk up to whatever front desk area or even the bar or whatever, whoever seems to be working, and say, "Hello, I'd like to procure a bed until the morning, if possible."
He looks up at you and he says, "Well, there's not many Sanstalis here in the Shackles. It's 2 silver for the room."
Yeah, I mean, I will hand over a couple of silver.
All right, he leads you up to a room on the 2nd floor. It's pretty grimy. It's not nice. One twin size bed and a wash basin next to it, and that's it. There's a small window looking out over onto the Avenue of Shackles.
Is there a lock on the door?
There's a lock, but it's just like, a little lever thing made out of wood. Like, it's not the most stable lock known to man. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
So I would like to attempt to jam either my shield,
Wedge
or
something in there.
wedge something in under the door handle, or in between the door and the door jamb.
Give me a crafting or survival.
Okay, here comes a survival check. Realizing how important this could be, I am going to use guidance and give myself a +1 circumstance bonus.
Oh, that was almost a 20.
18.
Yeah, you wedge your shield into the jamb of the door. It seems pretty solid.
Okay, I would like to take a rest for the night.
All right, you do your rest. Octavia, you sit and watch the front gate until just before daybreak. Like, the sun's starting to lighten up, but the sun hasn't risen yet. That the beautiful red sky, it's like a reverse sunset. Nice time to be awake. At this time, you
Which
see...
I think is called sunrise.
Oh, that is sunrise, yes, that word. You see Marzook walking down the street, holding the hands of two of her children, and the third child is holding the hand of like one of the other children. So they're four in a line. And she's walking kind of briskly back to her estate, and you hear the kids say, "Oh, Mom, I don't want to go home." Ah.
Okay. Couple of questions.
Mhm.
Number one, are these the same kids?
Yes, same ones.
Okay. Number two, and this might be a little more difficult, particularly for me to discern. Do they actually appear related to her?
Give me a nature or perception check.
Let's see. We're gonna go with perception because that's a +9.
Cool. 14,
23.
They seem similar enough. You notice, how do I say this? Miss Marzook is, if we equated dwarf years to human years, she'd be in her 60s. She's pretty old. The kids, 7, 8 years old.
Okay. I
But
mean,
they,
I don't
they
know
seem
what the,
related. They seem related.
I don't know what the typical, fertility age window of a infernal dwarf is. So I can't comment one way or the other on whether or not it's
Nonetheless,
possible.
As you're
But
watching, they head to the front gate. Marzook opens it.
Okay.
Children go inside. She closes it behind her. You hear it lock.
Oh, okay. At any point during that transition, are they within 30 feet of me?
Give me a stealth check.
Oh, I already have it on.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
30.
You are within 30 feet.
Damn.
Okay. With that, what I would like to do is cast Detect Magic. Specifically, I'm looking for, is there perhaps some sort of illusion around any of these 4 individuals?
Or charm or something.
Okay.
I mean, any type of magic, really. But like, what I'm thinking is potentially some sort of like minor illusion to adjust their features so that they always look like the same 3 kids, but maybe they're different. And the voice that was heard potentially was part of the minor illusion.
Give me an Arcana check. Just a straight Arcana check.
Okay. That'll be at +6. That's a 20.
You detect no magic, like no obvious magic on them. The one thing you do, like you can just get a tinge, deep buried deep down, a tinge of. No, actually, no. Cancel that. You see no magic.
Okay.
I mean, with the spell Detect Magic, if there's magic, she sees it.
There is no magic. There is no magic.
Okay. Just gotta try and keep you honest.
At this point, she's she's into the house, locked the door, goes in the house.
Yeah. Okay. So, at the very least at this point, because this is just essentially like, this was night 1, right? So at the very least at this point, we can potentially assume that she's typically out all night.
Maybe.
I would like to get, I mean, yes, maybe, but I would want to observe for a little while longer, and in particular, I would like to see where she goes when she does leave.
All right, how long would you like to do this for?
I don't know. I think at this point, it probably wouldn't hurt to, get the band back together, so to speak.
Go get Carlin.
So like, go get Carlin and be like, okay, so like, around this time is when I saw her return.
So you find him at the closest inn. You knock on the door. It's still early in the morning, so the hobgoblin is now asleep in the inn, but the guy at the front sees you walk through the door and is just confused. And you just walk upstairs, and there you get to Carlin.
Cool.
5 more minutes.
I mean, there's a window to your room, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just go to the window instead of having to actually go through the interior?
It'll require a squeeze check, but yes.
Well, I don't
Squeeze check. It's a critical part of Pathfinder.
Okay. I did remember that I do have something. I'm not 100% sure on how it's supposed to operate and how it would actually get attached. But I did find a slick ruin at one point and do have that is supposed to give a +1 item bonus to acrobatics checks to escape and squeeze.
Yes. You have to apply it to your armor, though.
Right. How?
You can attempt a crafting check.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I have that, and I want to make sure that is something that we remember in the future. I would want somebody more versed in crafting to actually apply that, because I could see things going very wrong. But I'm not necessarily trying to enter per se. I mean, we could just converse at the window.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it probably would be better for me to actually go in. Yeah, no, screw it. We'll try the squeeze check. So it was just a acrobatics check,
acrobatics,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Plus 10. 16?
16, that's enough. You slip through.
Okay. Beautiful.
I imagine this like Carlin is sleeping and the window's closed and you creak it open and he is awoken to a Pegasus face directly in front of him. Like above his face. This like nose to nose.
This is full blown like classic cat or dog waking you up wanting food, like on top of you, nose to nose, and you just like that.
All right, so it's getting close to our time I need to stop. Are you guys? How long do you want to observe?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially the question. I would at the very least like to do one more day, but I don't know if we want to try to do more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to kind of get a general feel of like, okay, she returned at this time in the morning. What time does she typically leave at night? Does she leave any time during the day? Where does she go? That kind of thing.
Okay. So you...
at the very least one more day. But Carlin, I don't know if you have any additional like wants
okay,
for
so
more.
A couple things happen here. First off, Octavia, you need to sleep or you'll be at one point of exhaustion. The kids are still watching.
I will do that.
The kids are still watching. So basically a day passes, full 24 hours. Take your long rest, you get all that. I think you're full health anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
I will be after this long rest.
Same.
And the network of kids explain to you that Marzook left her home with her children shortly after sunset. They followed her. They went to the slave market and bid on batches of slaves, of human slaves. Actually, not even human slaves. Slaves of all race, but all humanoid.
Humanoid.
Yeah. They didn't win any. They didn't win any of the bids this evening, or that night.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of the night, they went to like an all-night cafe on the Avenue of Shackles and sat and watched as people went up and down the avenue. That's all they did all night. And then again, right before sunrise, they went back to their house.
So that's the day after the entirety of the day after.
So it is now the 13th. Was the 11th? You had the night and the full day, and the day after that. So it's now the 13th. 2 days from Emerald's birthday.
Clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking.
All right. I think I'm gonna call it here. You guys can think about what you want to do until next week. As always, what should the name of this episode be?
So I have a few written down. I started to take notes on during the episode of what the episode title should be. I have Indebted to Street Urchins, Various Horse Noises,
That's good.
Horror Children,
Eh,
Octavia Makes a Child Cry, a side-splitting party split, since most of the episode was flashing back and forth between the two of us, and humanoid trafficking.
I don't know, maybe
I'm
humanoid-
a fan of Warrior Womp, Octavia's Orphanarium.
Right, yeah, there were at least one or two that Warrior Womp in the chat had.
Octavia's Orphanarium. I like humanoid trafficking's good. I like something around like making children cry.
Mm-hmm.
Just something like that.
That might be my favorite, is just Octavia Makes a Child Cry.
I don't like having your character names in the title. Like I don't like that. Just having like some nondescript title makes people want to watch the episode, in my opinion. So just making children cry is, I think, is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that like that is just one. It was one child, and it was a very small part of it.
Don't
Like-
try and.
All right,
not
I'm
take
pulling the trigger.
blame
I'm pulling the
for it.
trigger.
No.
Child cry.
No. I accept that.
I think I'm pulling the trigger. It's going to be making a
That's the
child
final
cry.
decision.
Making a child cry.
making
Done.
a child cry. All right, that's at least a little better because it's not. Yeah.
I mean, you still did it. Anybody
Yeah,
who
no,
watches will
absolutely.
learn.
Like no question. Like there's no question. But it's
And then the next
I'm
thing
small
is
pocket.
anyone watching right now, probably for approximately the next month, it's just going to be Octavia and Carlin. Anyone watching who wants to play, message me. We'd love to have you on the show. Let's get some
We do
fresh
have
blood in here.
potential. We do have potential for at least one guest spot,
Mhm.
maybe next week. But yeah, anybody, Warrior Womp, if you're
We've
you're
been
free Wednesday
We've been
nights and you wanna
begging.
jump
We've been
in,
begging Warrior
jump
Womp
in.
to join us. Let's see if he'll do it. But anyway, that's it for this evening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. And sorry for the big break since our last episode. But we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Good times as
Bye.
always.